Today is December 21st, and it is time to figure out what the Yankees' options are at the shortstop position. That's what we're doing today. So let's all get excited about it. Let's talk some Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, steaming hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY and Jake. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, brought to you by DraftKings. My name is Jimmy. Sitting next to me is Jake. In the corner is producer BBD. We have done this episode twice now. Once for the first base positions and again for the center field options. And now it's time to do it for shortstop, which is a bit different, Jake, because this is a position that they can't afford to not do something at.
Right. And we are kind of the experts on the position, being short. And a lot of people are often telling me to stop.
Yeah, our baseball career stopped.
Stop what you're doing. Yeah, man, stop. I'm excited. It's obviously it's been the Yankees' topic of the offseason, the shortstop position. There's obviously the one golden goose out there, and I think by the end, our opinions on Didi coming back aren't going to change. But the Correa guy. But I'm excited to flush it all out and see. I mean, I'm so interested because I love baseball.
Show everyone your hand.
Baseball.
Yeah, it's holding a baseball.
I'm holding a baseball. And the Yankees, they have two seemingly legit shortstop prospects, so I'm wondering, I guess I'm kind of wondering how blindly I can convince myself into other options outside of Correa and Story if Brian Cashman actually believed in a Peraza or the kid from Jersey, Jeter. So I'm excited. We're going to flush it out like our first base. What else do we do? Center field?
Center field. And both of those we went in kind of thinking what we had ideas of what we wanted. And at the end, we said, okay, this is kind of what I think they should do. And just like you just said, right now, I'm pretty dead set that they should go get Correa or Trevor Story and be the Yankees and get the best at the position that they need.
Right.
And I'm interested, after going through all the options and the research here, if I come away with a different interpretation of the situation. Celebration, education, evacuation, ejaculation. Let the drummer kick that. Let the drummer kick that.
Copyright. Claimed.
This word sounds like this word and this word. And that's the song I wrote.
Okay.
Hey, guys, want to hear the song I wrote? That's just a list of words that end in shun.
Go. You need to let them go. We're happy that they had their hit song.
I think it's one dude. Anyway, acceptable options currently on the Yankees. This segment is brought to you by Magic Spoon Cereal. They are sponsoring the segment entitled Acceptable Options to Play Shortstop that are currently on the Yankees. Brought to you by Magic Spoon, guilt-free cereal for adults. Only 140 calories a serving, 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Proud sponsors of the acceptable options currently on the Yankees segment of today's episode.
Yeah.
My favorite cereal, I eat it a lot. I do. It's not a lie. You tweet at me any time of the day and you say, oh, prove it that you eat Magic Spoon. I'll tweet you a picture of my box. It's got 3 flavors mixed in. It's awesome. So you can go get yourself some. Go to magicspoon.com/Yanks to grab a custom bundle of cereal and try it today. And be sure to use your promo code Yanks at checkout to save $5 off your order. They're so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% guarantee. If you forgot, they did sponsor this segment called Acceptable Options currently on the Yankees.
Yeah.
Get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/Yanks and use the Yanks code Yanks to save $5. All right, Jake, can you walk us through acceptable options currently on the Yankees that could play shortstop?
Erica's become our research department. Put LOL
Oh.
under acceptable options currently on the Yankees to play shortstop. And I think she's right.
Quick section.
I think she's right.
None.
Acceptable, yeah.
On to the next option.
The next topic is listed as unappealing options, which, I'd like to rephrase. A couple of these guys are friends, and I think they play other positions. Not shortstops. I'll list this.
Unappealing starting shortstop options.
Yes. I'm gonna rename this section to guys who played shortstop that aren't shortstops.
Okay.
And it has Gleyber, Torres, and Urshela. Gleyber Torres entered last year as a starting shortstop. Just a young boy. Made a lot of those plays in shortstop in diapers. We heard from family members of hers.
He said Gio backs him. Gleyber started.
Gleyber. Yeah. Well, Gio ended up finishing there, who's a third baseman and has a natural limp at this point in his life. He does.
I thought you were saying we weren't being rude.
He does.
That's just a giddy up, dude. It's a hitch in his giddy up. It's
yeah,
badass.
Exactly.
It's cool. It's stylish.
I didn't say limp in a bad way. I mean, pimp limp. Blimp limp. Google how many blimps there are in the world. You'll be shocked.
Well, I think there's 7 good year ones.
Gleyber, Torres, and Gio Urshela should be our second baseman and our third baseman, potentially.
If they're on the
team.
Yes. And they said Gleyber's not a shortstop.
Yeah.
So he's not.
No.
You can't go back.
Neither's Gio.
He was better than Gleyber, but
yeah, but it's still not a shortstop.
Not your starting season opener shortstop.
No.
Can I stay on Gleyber and Gio for you for right
now?
Are they acceptable backups? Because you always on the 26-man want 2 guys that can play short in a pinch. That's like kind of why Wade was around for a while.
If we're being cool hot boy Yankees, you've heard me say this before, Gio Urshela I think could be a bench option. I know he's on a 1-year, $655 million contract, but as a backup left side of the infield player where we know there's going to be injuries, and depending the other pieces, we've talked first base and the guys that could come in there. I have a world in my head where Gio is a very viable bench option that would still end up playing a lot of games.
So if it's they grab someone and the only other person that can play short is Gio, if that's the situation,
right?
Can he also be the everyday starting third baseman? That's what I'm getting at.
No.
So then if Gio's the everyday starting third baseman, the Yankees need to pick up 2 guys that can play shortstop.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that's a little more eye-opening. It's like, oh, we don't just need 1. We need 2 guys that can play the position.
So maybe no, because I would be saying if they signed if they got a first baseman, Rizzo Olsen, we've talked about all those names, and then they signed or traded for another shortstop, then I do have DJ at third and Gio Urshela being the backup shortstop. So not necessarily 2 shortstops.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So if DJ's at first.
But that would have Gio Urshela being like an actual bench player.
Yes,
which,
yes.
Again, I don't fully believe in because I think you're right. Like, I don't think MLB teams put that kind of money on their bench anymore, really. But the Yankees should.
Can I get some juice?
Yeah, bro.
All right, so, and then, Gleyber's not an option, and Gio, that's kind of how he would play in if he gets to that position.
Yeah.
So next category.
In the pipeline.
Yankee shortstop prospects. We got Volpe, heard a lot about him, Oswald Peraza, and then Oswaldo Cabrera.
Oswald gang, huh?
They should choose.
Yeah.
You're both Oswaldo, you're both Oswald because, come on now.
Yeah.
And if we're being honest, Oswaldo is so much more fun to say than Oswald.
Yeah, and it's tough because, Oswald Peraza, he's made like a big climb this year as a legit Yankees prospect. But Oswaldo Cabrera, that's just it's a better name.
And Oswaldo Cabrera is a switch hitter.
And you want to combine Oswaldo and Peraza, ending 2 things in it.
Can we, as a show, you want to combine them? Can we, as a show, decide that we're going to refer to Peraza as Peraza, and we'll never call him Oswald? So if the audience ever hears us saying something similar to Oswald, or Oswaldo, they know we're talking about 22-year-old Oswaldo Cabrera. Oswaldo Cabrera, we'll always say the full name, Oswaldo Pereira. Fuck, Cabrera.
I got another problem with that.
Yeah.
We signed a Peraza to play shortstop for AAA, Jose Peraza.
Minor league deal.
So I don't think we
to
can
spring.
say Peraza, so I think we're
OP?
OP.
Nah, that's it.
Until Jose Peraza makes the team or we're in spring training, I think it's safe for us to, every Peraza is Oswald. And if you're saying Oswald, to add a Peraza on there, like you can say his full name.
Yeah.
But
So Oswald Peraza is in a tough boat because Oswaldo Cabrera is stealing his first name
Yeah.
and making it cooler. And Jose Peraza is a shortstop they signed.
Yeah, and I
I
mean,
mean, how do we remember this kid?
the other, so what we have to do is, and no offense to Oswaldo Cabrera, but Oswald Peraza has
I'm
become.
gonna suck up. God damn it, dude!
No, stop looking for a cheat. There's no cheat.
His middle name's Jose.
We've already we've already looked for the cheat. It's not there.
Wikipedia says that he is Oswaldo as well.
Yeah, probably, dude. They haven't seen them in the same room. Oswald Peraza. He's the name that you've probably heard about as a Yankee fan. He has flown up the Yankees prospect list. Some places have him as the 43rd best prospect in baseball. He is a legit prospect, and everything we've heard is that the glove is major league ready and that the hitting has gotten to above where expected. His hitting stats last year were pretty good. He is 21 and a half years old, so he is a baby. At the same time, when I say that, the Yankees' new number one prospect is 20 and a half years old, and he's Anthony Volpe, the other young shortstop that you've probably heard about from Jersey. Same high school as Al Leiter's kid. I think wasn't that part of the discussion at the draft? Or the Leiters are family friends with them. It's something like that.
I don't know.
Same high school, I think. But they are two legit prospects. Oswaldo isn't listed in that ilk, but we just like his name better.
But if Oswaldo Peraza also is actually Oswaldo. No, I'm saying Wikipedia says it's actually Oswaldo.
He chopped the O.
You should get that O back.
Baseball Reference says full name is Oswald. So Wikipedia people can edit. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. We all would love for it to be Oswaldo.
Yeah,
Ozzy Peraza?
that's fun.
Yep.
Oh, wait. Oswaldo Jose Peraza is 59 years old.
Oh, boy.
So that's just a different guy.
That's
Is
just
it his dad?
different.
He was a starting
human.
pitcher who played for the Orioles.
It's a different human we're now talking about.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees are in a window to win, and when you're in a window to win, you don't rely on prospects. The reason, at starting at the year, these guys play their way into the team, into the bigs because there's openings and they need to fill them, and then they're very successful and they keep going.
Right.
Absolutely, but you don't pencil either of any of these guys in at the start of the year. Also, you probably try and trade one or you see what you can get because as good as they say these guys are, we have had prospects been touted the same that don't pan out every year.
Yeah, the trades we've talked about too, whether first base, center field, you're going to have to give up an asset for a Matt Olson or Ketel Marte or whoever it is. We're expecting one of those trades to happen, and you have to figure the other team is asking for one of these guys. And as the Yankees, you kind of have to make your move on one of these guys. Who's the one you believe in? And yeah, I gave a little click around MLB because there is something, and I wanted to say this at the start, and I didn't have the right way to say it. Like, young talent fuels baseball. Like, baseball is getting younger. Like, obviously, contract-wise, it helps your team the more young talent you have, and players are hitting their peak younger. So there's been this whole discussion around when or if these guys will be ready. And then I was kind of like, okay, so what young shortstops are actually doing it around baseball or around their age? Bo Bichette got called up at age 21, or his age 21 season.
Bo.
He played 46 games that year. He was really good. And it's like Tatis. So you have to be pretty special. I mean, after that, there's not a ton of young guys picking it at shortstop. I mean, you're almost getting into this year's free agency class, like Correa and those guys that we're going to talk about in a minute. Like Trey Turner, like there's not a lot of like 25, 26-year-old shortstops. Like there's those two younger guys I mentioned, and then everyone's kind of like 27, 28 and up.
It's a tough position.
Tough position. I'm no good at it.
Don't sell yourself short.
I would.
In certain leagues, I think you could perform really well.
I think certain leagues that'd be pretty good too.
Yeah. Livermore American.
If I joined a middle school baseball team right now, I think I'd be nasty.
You think so?
Yes.
At hitting as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have that confidence.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm like a powerful 8th grader.
I'm
a beast of an 8th grader.
Hold on. You think you'd be the best on the team?
Yes.
Dude, I don't know.
Not pitching. I mean, I wouldn't even pitch. I'd just be a hitter.
You think you'd be the best hitter
Yes, dude.
on any middle school in America?
Not like an elite where there's some Chris Sale kid who's 6 foot.
Let's
and
take
throws.
California and out of the mix then.
If you put me on a random middle school team, I think I would be the best player 98%
Northeast
of the
team.
time.
Do we have any TV execs listening? This is an awesome TV show idea.
Oh, dude, I had another thing the other day. I don't think we can talk on here. Let's get back into
Let's get back to the
We'll
shortstop
get back
stuff.
into the shortstop. So, in the org,
Someone remember that idea. I want to.
in the org, there are two really cool guys, like legit prospects. Like, it's not Yankee land. We get caught up in funny business sometimes. They are young. They're 21 and 20. So, as you mentioned, timeline, it just doesn't seem like they're a fit unless Brian Cashman truly believes in one of them. And even if he does, is it this timeline?
Yeah, I don't. You can't let both of those guys slip away, and not pan out, and you didn't trade for him.
Right.
You'd rather trade for him, and the dude is good, above average shortstop for another team, and you got value that you needed right away, than hold on to him. Think about like Justice Sheffield and Paxton.
Sure.
Still doesn't hurt us.
Right.
Even though Paxton was only here for 2 years, and he didn't really, the Yankees didn't win, and he had a good playoff start, but he missed the next year. Like, still, and Justice Sheffield is a major league pitcher. I think did he go to the bullpen or get? It's not going. He's up and down, up and down. It didn't hurt us.
Right. I guess the only counter argument to that would be young Aaron Judge. Like if they had traded him, but they kept on to him.
You guys got to make sure that's why you got to try and get good stuff for it.
Yeah.
The Yankee, but also like credit to Cashman. This hasn't happened. He's
right.
traded
he hasn't
away.
gotten burned a lot.
The only two prospects that he's hugged are Clint and Andujar that he shouldn't have hugged.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like
who's the prospect Cashman's traded away?
Dude, so many. Like people were up on Adams, Rutherford, Mateo. Like you could go through the list of the last 5 years of the prospects the Yankees traded away that people were upset about because like he was good. They haven't.
Yeah, I'm the only one. Just again because we're
player.
covering our James Caprillion had a pretty good year last year. He had some injury stuff when he was with the Yankees.
But you'd still do that trade because he was 3 years away, and,
right?
And the Yankees thought their window was 17 to 20.
Right.
He's like 27, 28 now. Like,
yeah.
And dude, the Sonny Gray trade was good. Sonny just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And like
how are you gonna know that he just couldn't pitch at Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
We did a little bit of this conversation one of the episodes that you weren't here, I think. But like one of the better results of a trade is when it works out for both teams, and then they want to trade with you again because you gave them a good prospect once. That kind of obviously you don't want to trade a guy and he becomes the best, an MVP.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So
you don't want it to not work for them.
Like we've said with other guys, if Matt Olson, Ketel Marte, Brian Reynolds, whoever it is ends up on this team and we trade one of these guys, celebrate, pop some champagne, enjoy it. You're bringing in a proven bona fide MLB player. But at the same time, and it's kind of, it is what you're saying, but it's the other side of it. If Cashman doesn't trade one of these guys, it does mean he believes.
Yeah.
Like Judge, Gary, Gleyber.
Yeah. They said Bird, but Bird had already been a major leaguer in 16 and proven himself. So
he played on like bad Yankee teams.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
And he was good in 17. So it's not the same thing. I'm saying
They
before
traded as a prospect.
you got to trade them before they make their debut. is what I'm saying.
Or like play a full year.
Or play a full
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's what's in-house.
Not a lot. Shortstops on the free agent market.
Mm-hmm.
This is easy. It's Correa and Story is the best options, the category.
Somebody bringing the
Yeah,
two interesting guys to us.
The
Sure
two
are.
interesting guys
Sure
are
are.
always going to be brought to you by
Al Steinbrenner.
No.
Well, they would be, but
You think he'd go get both? Manscaped.
nope. Not going to do that.
What were you going to do?
I was going to talk about Hal's downstairs.
Don't
I'm
do
sure
it.
it's perfectly maintained, and he does a great job down there.
Hey, fellas, this episode of Talkin' Yanks and this conversation coming up about Correa and Story is brought to you by our favorite producers of ball trimmers, Manscaped, the global leader in the below-the-waist grooming. They're leaving 2021 with a new product. Clean yourself into the new year with their ultra-premium body wash. And also, special offer alert. Use code YANKS for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. 4 million men already trust Manscaped. Time to join them. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code YANKS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code YANKS. Happy New Year to your balls. Trevor Story. Carlos Correa.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Correa is going to look for 10 years, 300 plus. We actually heard what the Tigers offered him, right? That kind of went out there. And it was 300 for 10, and he said no.
Something like that.
He wants more than that. So if you're signing Carlos Correa, you're signing him for like 10 years, 300, more than that.
Yeah.
More than that. So that's what we got. It's not a this year commitment. It's a decade-long commitment.
It's a franchise-altering commitment.
Yes.
Which, man,
Which is scary. I get like that's a obviously he's a right now he's a need. He's a need shortstop. Fuck, dude, I don't like 10-year contracts still.
so you guys listen to this, you probably know Carlos Correa, Houston Astros. One of the best arms I've ever seen on a baseball infield. Incredible. He won the Platinum Glove this year, which goes to the best defender in the league. And he worked on that. He studied how to get better. He is 6'4", 220. There's some A-Rod comparisons. I'd like to keep that to position and physique. I think some of the offensive stats are in different worlds and shouldn't be a comparison. I think being kind of weird guys, I think that's a little fair. Carlos Correa, career 277, 356, 837, which, again, I will say, for a shortstop, those are incredible numbers. I just do want you to keep those in mind when we do talk Trevor Story, and, everyone has some Coors thoughts. He's a really good hitter. He's a quality hitter. He does have some injury history, and it's like back stuff. So if we're talking about Carlos Correa and a 10-year contract, you're looking at 4 to 5 years at shortstop, and then at some point he probably slides over to third base where he has the arm to play there. Your range dwindles as you get older, and he would be a fine third baseman. So if that's the Yankees' plan, hey, you have to, A, come to grips with the guy coming over from the Astros, the team that's bullied us the past few years, and becoming our, franchise cornerstone player paired with Garrett Cole, who was a part of that as well.
That's where it really weirds me out. I know that, there's so many people who are like, he's the best option, and they just want to play the game on paper and take all, fanhood thoughts out of it, which I can't do. I think that is what makes fanhood.
Right.
Making Garrett Cole and Carlos Correa your two franchise players, 10-year big-ass deals,
Right.
feels fucking weird.
Yeah.
And we already did Cole. Obviously, he's the best option to win. And there's people that I don't care. Whoever wins, wins.
Cole is a little different. It was
only 2 years.
Of Cole.
And he
They
wasn't
traded for
he
him.
wasn't one of the people
Like
cheating, and he wasn't
Correa
a big
was.
bravado and guy.
Yeah.
And think about Stanton, man. Stan comes over with that big thing, and everyone wants to act like Stan's A-Rod, and he's this
Maybe Stan's really rooting for this. Get the target off
because
his back.
everyone hated Stan and treated him like they treated A-Rod,
Yeah.
but Stan's never said a wrong word in an interview. He's never said any. He's never
pitching a perfect game.
He's
pretty
never
much.
said anything insulting.
He got hurt in 2020, right?
He got hurt, yeah. And he was a little bad in clutch situation in 2018, but 2020 and 2021, he's the most clutch player the Yankees have had. And fans still want to treat Stanton like like they just hate him for no reason. Like, he's got to prove it. And Stan's handled the media the best I've seen someone come in and handle media being put in that spot of, like, the Roger Maris A-Rod, like, your second fill hatred.
Again,
And Correa's not going to do that. He's the number one puts foot in his mouth interview. So, I mean, you talk about the angry uncles on the couches. You got to be ready. Like, this guy, if he signs, I think will be the most hated Yankee ever out the gates. There's a group of the fan base that's going to boo him day one.
Yeah, I think
That's bizarre.
it's
But he's
going to
help the team because he's the best.
Yeah, and
both sides of the ball.
rings can change stuff like that real
Obviously.
quick, and that's
Obviously.
that would.
But, I mean, I've never signed a player to a deal that's going to come with booze.
He'll be the most hated day one
Player ever.
Like saying that people
most hated day
but-
2. I think day 1, everyone will be excited. We got
Stan's
Correa.
first game, he hit 2 home runs.
Yeah.
And then he got booed his home opener 5
Yeah.
days later.
Welcome to the Bronx, babe.
fuck, man.
So yeah, I just added a bonus point to Correa because you're right. I think it would take a target off Stanton's back, so I'd almost love that. Hey, he's one of the best players in baseball. Defense at shortstop can't go undervalued. Never mind best defense in the game.
Everyone will get over it. Everyone will love him when he puts on pinstripes and he wins games and he performs. I'm not denying that.
I will
Root for him on
say,
the field.
I will say the one thing, as we look at the Yankees as a whole and what was supposed to change, Carlos Correa, not necessarily athletic. He hasn't stolen a base in the last 2 years. He's stolen one in the last 3. So, like,
Is he fast?
athleticism,
Like, is he
I'm
speedy
not
but
sure
doesn't
if you bring
steal?
up his baseball savant. So, like, again, what kind of trajectory? And this isn't shots fired or anything. It's just honest. Everyone gets old. Father Time is undefeated. That if Carlos Correa hasn't stolen a base for the last 2 years, he's had some back injuries in the past. Like, I'll tell you what, like, mid to late 30s, it might not be super pretty. And we've seen that with a ton of baseball contracts. So, again, it's not shots fired at Correa. If he signed, let's not lie. I mean, he won the Platinum Glove. He's a really good hitter. I think the short porch would help him out. He's got Oppo Taco power. He does lose the box, the Crawford box. Yeah.
Oppo power.
That was Oppo Juice?
Yeah, it's easy.
But, like, yeah, I mean.
The Savant sprint speed's like gone down every year.
Yeah,
Like I think the Astros are one of the teams that doesn't steal a lot of bases because they have power up and down the lineup. So just the steal numbers I don't care about, but
Someone
sprint
said
speed
stolen
stuff.
bases are not measuring athleticism, and it's true. But when people say athlete, they mean fast.
And, like, defensively, it's
just
very
weird.
fair.
I'm trying to change it.
I think that is one of the windows. Like, defensively, Carlos Correa is a fantastic athlete. Base running, I mean, his sprint speed has gone down the past couple years.
Yeah.
He's not stealing bases. So I think defensively, yes, he's
But
incredibly
when
athletic.
Cashman says we need to get more athletic, or Joel Sherman says the Yankees need to get more athletic, they literally mean they need to be able to run faster and go first to third,
Yeah.
and go second to home, and steal bases. So they just need to change the word and say they need to get faster.
I think if you got Carlos Correa, you could still say the Yankees are more athletic.
Yeah, because
of what he does defensively.
well, it helps everyone else out go to different positions.
Yeah.
And we don't know necessarily that he doesn't go first to third well, but just based on
They have those
Savant.
stats, but I don't want to.
I don't know
Yeah.
fully how to read those, so
Uh, so again, it would be a massive contract. It would be the Yankees being the Yankees that a lot of you say they aren't anymore. We will see. I mean, if Carlos Correa, you're signing one of the best players in the game in his prime. It's 27.
you're theoretically getting at least like the 5 best years of his career in theory.
Yeah, although they're showing that, like, younger the better in baseball. But the other guy in this equation, the other free agent that everyone is talking
Gun
about.
to your head right now. Go widescreen, BBD. I have my gun right to Jake's head. Carlos Correa, Yankee or not Yankee, come March.
I think Yankee.
You do?
Yeah.
I think not. If you had a gun to my head.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's really interesting. We've talked about it on Talking Baseball a little bit, there's not a lot of options. Like, where do you have him going? Like the Dodgers? But then he's signing up to play third base, and he thinks he's the best defender in the sport at shortstop.
You put Trey Turner back to second?
I think Trey Turner thinks he's a pretty damn good shortstop. I don't know. It's down to, like, teams that would dole out that contract. It's what, Yankees,
I don't
Dodgers?
know. You saw the Tigers were pretty up there.
Yeah, but they signed their shortstop. Like, Texas signed 2 guys.
Houston.
Yeah, but they
Yankees,
kinda,
Dodgers,
they kinda
Red Sox.
dipped around Correa a little bit. I don't know. It just seems like a match made in heaven. All that being said, Jim, I don't know if you know this. I changed my name on Twitter. Have you seen this one?
The butt muncher thing?
Talkin,
You're talking about your
Talkin
known
Jake Trevor Story.
Nice. I thought that was in honor of Plouffe.
Could be. On the right day. He's nice to me. I love Trevor Story. I hope you love him too. Trevor Story, if he had... These are Trevor Story's stats from the past, from 2018 through 2020, the 3 seasons leading up to this year. 292, 355, a 909 OPS. Sure, there's some Coors Field in there, but as we've tried to educate you on, and if you get some time, read an article about it, about the Coors effect. Guys get fatigued easier. It's so hard to hit on the road.
Yeah,
because
I'm
of the
almost
pitches you've seen.
Almost people that still say he can only hit in Coors is, to me, the equivalent of people that cite just batting average alone.
Yeah.
Like, we've moved past that, and it's been proven wrong so often that you're, like, really behind if you're still saying he can only hit in Coors.
Yeah.
Like, it's been proven that that's wrong.
Yeah, and DJ LeMahieu, he wasn't going to be able to hit here. And
Arenado
what
just
he
had the
did.
same, like, OPS. And there's a million other examples.
Yeah. So, again, the last 3 years, the guy had an OPS in the 9s at the shortstop position. By the way, athletic, whether you're talking speed or defense, we interviewed him on Talkin' Baseball, and they sent over his stats, basically like he was a running back. They gave his 40 time and stuff. And in 2020, weird year, sure, he led the NL in stolen bases, 15 stolen bases. Last year, he had 20 in 142 games. He was also banged up. And in a bad year, his OPS ended in the 800s. Now, there are some declining numbers out there. He's 29 years old. Do with that what you want. Here's what I know. In a year he was banged up and had a bad first half, if you got rid of one of those months and you gave him an average Trevor Story month, well, I was going to say we'd still be talking crazy money. We still are. I think this guy is going to get more money than Simeon. Simeon's a couple years older and just had an incredible year, but age matters. This guy is going to get a big deal. I think it starts with a 2 for 200 millions. Nice numbers there, Jake.
200 millions.
200 millions for me,
it probably
please.
gets 200 millions, please. I'd like to
Shake on
take
it.
that out, please, of my account.
Shake on it. And I do think the other thing that becomes more interesting with Trevor Story is he's athletic. He's good defensively. I know he had some arm stuff, but I think that led to injury. I think when we talk about everyone at some point has to come off shortstop, except Derek Jeter. I think left field could be in play for Trevor Story at some point. I think third base, like a lot of shortstops. There was rumors at the trade deadline that the Yankees were trying to trade for Trevor Story to play center field this year. So, this guy, when we talk athlete, and if we're talking about value coming from this free agent pool, if he had any one of his last 3 seasons, I think there'd be a conversation that Trevor Story could get more money than Carlos Correa this year. And because he had 1.5 months, we're talking about this guy in a different tier. So that's where I got on the
2018
story.
to 2021.
2018 to 2021?
Yes. 2018
880 OPS.
Yes, I have stats for you.
I thought you were asking me.
2018 to 2021, Carlos Correa, Trevor Story. So the last 4 seasons, 18, 19, 20, 21. Story's played a lot more games, 550 games to 380. Who do you think has the higher OPS plus? Last 4 seasons, last 4 years, Carlos Correa, Trevor Story. Trevor Story's played more games than Correa.
OPS plus. I mean, I would lean Correa because Story gets hurt. OPS plus from Coors, which is kind of what we just talked about a little bit, but it could also be
Exact
Story.
same.
How about that?
So no way you would have got that. You don't bet green.
Don't bet green. Never.
118 OPS plus each.
Fuck green.
And Trevor Story comes in that time period with 85 stolen bases.
Yeah.
I like Trevor Story. If he's like second fiddle, if this is like in a lot of, even the fans that say like, so this is what I guess my message or my opinion or thoughts that I want to share is, if you're someone out there that says Carlos Correa or bust, if they don't get Carlos Correa, then like fuck them. I'm not a fan of this team anymore. My nose is stuffed up. I just want to let you know, like, if they don't and they get Story, you should still be excited.
Celebrate.
It's still, both these guys are really good. And Story's coming off a year where he thought he was going to get traded at the deadline, and they didn't trade him, and he was stuck in Colorado and miserable. And I think he openly said that, like, this.
Right,
I think
right
he
when the trade didn't happen.
He took like a breather. He was like, I don't want to play. Like, why would I want to? Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And was like,
He spent all year having to deal with everyone every day telling him you're being traded,
and then they
2
didn't
months.
move him, and he was like, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm because the stolen bases, because I don't think it's going to be the yearly commitment that 10 is going to be. I have them very close. Like, for me, today, right now, in this moment, I'm leaning like, I'd grab a Story if the contract's more valuable than Correa. But if they get Correa, I'm not going to be upset.
Either one of these guys, if they're on your baseball team, you should be on cloud 9. We're talking about some of the best.
The only other thing about Story, because he's 2 years older and he had the arm issue this year that nobody really knows if that's gonna continue. It might. People say he's gonna have to move off shortstop at least earlier than Correa will.
But that's fine.
Yeah, he's still getting the balls and everything. He still has the range and all that. Just the throws were off this year. In the past, he's been, if not top end defender, that next tier, that Didi tier when he was here. Not going to win a Gold Glove, but very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had a problem with Didi's defense.
Yeah.
And that's so tying this into
have a good first baseman.
One of the Oswalds. And why do I always blank on the kid? I always want to call him Story. Volpe. High school with a Volpe. I just need to remember that. Volpe. I think Cashman believes in Volpe or Peraza. We'll find out whoever gets traded.
Pink.
But I think if you sign Trevor Story, that leaves the next step of the Yankees. Trevor Story will be at shortstop for the next 2 years. One of those kids comes up, earns their keep. 2025, they get the starting shortstop job. Trevor Story kicks out to left field, and it's I've got Cashman's blackboard next to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm a dreamer. You may say I'm the only one, but do we move on from those guys?
Yeah, so if they don't land either of those guys, that's the thing. I think that they have to land one of those guys. If they don't land either.
So, gun to your nose. Just the side of your nose. You got the wide shot, BBD? Could you come at a better angle so I could just shoot off your nose if I needed to? Other way, yes. So you don't think the Yankees are signing Carlos Correa? So that means you think they're signing Trevor Story?
No.
You think they're getting neither?
If I had a gun to my head, yes.
What about to your nose?
Story. I'd risk my nose.
So you don't think they're getting either of those guys?
No, I'm kind of a downer on it.
Okay, well, let's keep talking then, and we'll find out.
I think they're so obsessed with value. That I'm kind of a downer on it.
Okay.
I think that some of the reports where they're going to try and get sneaky are there. Don't want to. I wouldn't say 100%. I wouldn't say I'm hard set. I've reserved the right to change my mind, obviously.
Right.
But, there's part of me that, if you say more likely they don't get either or more likely to get Correa, I'm more likely they don't get either. If you had a pie chart, it would be 35% Story, 35% neither, 30% Correa.
Nice pie chart.
That's great
Clean
math,
pie
man. That was fantastic.
Clean pie chart.
Is that correct?
I think so. 35 is 35. Everyone knows that's 70. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So if you had a bet, even odds on Correa or Story being a Yankee, you would hit yes on that because you believe that at a 70% clip. We just found out. Are you
that
changing
one of
it?
them?
Yes.
Yeah, 75. Well, 75. Well, because 35 was
35
Story.
plus 35 is 70.
Correa was only 30%.
He was 30%, so 65%.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, but I don't think you can do it that way. I don't think you can do it that way. Because then when you take away the other option, then it changes.
Should we talk about Joe's McFly's favorite player?
Simmons?
Andrelton Simmons?
Does he want him?
No, he doesn't like him.
Well, I mean, that's...
I think Joe's made me make a handshake deal that if the Yankees sign Andrelton Simmons, we have to chain ourselves to the stadium.
Did you shake on that?
I think we shook on that.
I'll shake on the fact that I'll be there.
Okay.
Eating. Watching.
Should I call Joe's quick?
Call him and let him know.
Okay.
Like, make sure that's the thing. Yeah, man. I mean, Simmons is a move they can't do.
Right.
And that's about as...
Your call has been forwarded.
Straight to voicemail?
Are you serious, Joes? That's about as much as we can say about it, right? Like, you can't do that.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think Joe's might be able to clear this up for us if he picks up. Or he's just ducking me.
Yeah.
Bino champ, ducking me.
You're the Bino champ.
Right. That's why he's ducking me. Doesn't want the smoke.
Your call has been
Wow. Okay. Fighting. Officially fighting. Yeah, Andrelton, man. Again, all the stuff I've said about the young guys, I think is going to apply to the next. Well, there's not a free agent-wise. It's like Andrelton Simmons. Like, there's not even other starting shortstops.
The only other one that you can throw in the Simmons bucket is Jose Iglesias.
Right. Like, if you
He's
see
an MLB.
if you see an
shortstop,
opposing team and he's the opposing shortstop, you're like, oh, okay, they have a starting shortstop. But, yeah, man.
and between those two, I
Iglesias or
think
Andrelton
it's clear.
Simmons, and this has been my statement, which, again, like, I don't believe in, is that if you sign one of those guys at the All-Star break, Peraza or Volpe would have to be the Yankees starting shortstop, and I don't believe in that for this year. So, no.
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 No. No.
I mean, I fear that they're like, well, we got offensive power elsewhere, and he helps us be the most athletic on defense. And
BBD's been on it. The
He doesn't even
defensive stuff
steal.
isn't there.
Simmons' defensive metrics have slipped the last years. I mean, they've slipped from such a high place.
what? Okay, what about this? What about this? If they say bat to ball guy, contact guy. I mean, batting average last year was bad.
Yeah.
But in 2020, 297, then 264, 292, 278, 281. What if they're looking at that and they're saying, we want little baby toe. We want a slapper that can pick it at short. Could they?
If they signed Andrelton Simmons, he couldn't be the starting shortstop by the All-Star break. So what have you really done?
So don't do it.
So don't do it, man. Don't do it. Literally, Erica put another name in here from the free agent pool, Erie Adrianza, utility guy, but like that would be a bench piece.
Isn't he like a higher?
I think it's A-Ray.
A-Ray.
It has it on the baseball reference.
Yeah.
I should double check. But like, is there, for devil's advocate purposes, there a world where you're okay with one of those guys in that bucket if they do Brian Reynolds trade and Brad Olson trade and beef up the whole rotation with like a stud, and you have to do like the A+ move at the other three
so
needs.
much.
No.
It'd have to be so.
It just doesn't feel like a
much.
realistic conclusion anyway, even if you would be cool with it.
What would they have to do to be okay with that? You'd have to get Olsen at first,
Reynolds or Marte,
like
Luis Castillo,
and then a big pitcher.
Kershaw, like 2 pitchers.
Yeah.
And then
At least one like
you'd
front
have to have
end.
traded one of the other young shortstops, and I'd have to say, oh, okay, Oswald Peraza will be the shortstop at the All-Star break. Perfect.
If you're running Simmons out there,
Yeah.
and this is me saying
This
this,
is you.
just run Volpe out there.
Right.
If you're starting Simmons, just
Find out what you got.
then just find out what you got.
Have him be the backup.
Because it's the
to
same fucking
Rookie
thing.
And then
instead.
trade
You
for
just
a
find out
veteran-
what you got with
trade
Simmons.
for a veteran at the deadline.
Okay, so moving on, because this is the section I want to get to. Because
Let's get to it.
I haven't given this section any thought at all.
Place your bet.
And DraftKings said, well, you guys should start thinking about this section because I haven't given this section any thought at all, and all I want to do is think about it now. It's brought to you by DraftKings. It's Christmas weekend. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, has a gift that'll certainly put you in the holiday spirit. New customers can bet just $5 on any NBA team and win $150 in free bets if they're victorious. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JOMBOY. Bet just $5 on an NBA team and win $150 in free bets if they're victorious. Who would you choose?
I placed a bunch of bets today.
You did?
It was in Joycey.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your best bet you placed? Don't remember
I was
any.
just shooting from the hip.
It's great.
Just shooting from the goddamn hip.
That's promo code JOMBOY. Some of the best gunfighters shot from the hip, Jake.
Yeah.
You got to be quick and you got to be accurate and you
Trust
thoughtless.
it. Just
Yeah.
gotta trust it.
That's why you don't get it. Like something but shooting from the hips skill. That's promo code JOMBOY this Christmas week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania. Only new customers, only minimum $5 deposit, $1 wager required, 1 per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. Next year, can we get a stopwatch hanging from my thing and I time my Minkos? And then we get like a Minko draft board. That way people will be cheering for me.
Right.
They'll be like so excited about it.
Supporting.
Yeah. All right, the section that I'm excited about is acceptable trade targets. We have a list here. I haven't given this any thought. Have you?
A little bit, because I think the first name we're talking about, there was a lot of talk at a certain point, and it does check a lot of the Yankees' boxes, and it's just so unexciting. And that word you said before, Jim, the one thing the Yankees love, value. I think there could be some pretty legitimate value in trading with the Texas Rangers for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Cool story. We've talked about him on some episodes. Guy made his way to the bigs by hopping behind the dish. Like the Rangers just needed someone, so he did it. They moved him to third base. He was nasty defensively over there that they said, let's play at shortstop. And he was nasty over there. And now he is an MLB starting shortstop who grades out really well defensively. And, Jim, when you're talking about Andrelton Simmons, if the Yankees are buying into slap it around, some batting average and some defense, he hit 271, not pretty. The OPS is 670. He stole 20 bases, so, he can swipe you a bag. And he played 158 games, so, he in the shortened season, he won the Gold Glove. Was that at shortstop or was that at third base?
That was at third.
Third.
So that was
Got
at
it over
third.
Gio.
They slid him over to short. Over Gio, that sick pup. So think about that. But, yeah, I mean, here you got a kid who's 26. He turns 27 in the spring. He almost racked up a 4 WAR last year between a little bit of offense and a little bit of defense, which at shortstop, that is a valuable player. And again, it would just tie into the Cashman believes in one of the kids that they didn't want to do it. But again, if Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees, it almost is the same Andrelton Simmons, you better have gotten me everything else speech, which, do we believe in that? No.
No. I'm going to take no. Yeah, no. But a little bigger than Simmons. A little better.
If Andrelton
You wouldn't
Simmons,
have to get the second pitcher.
If Andrelton Simmons is a 2 out of 10 on the happiness scale, IKF is like a 4? I was going to say 3, but I said 4. He seems cool.
4.1 for me.
Tweets.
4.1 for me.
Damn it.
Book
I was
it.
gonna say you can like the difference between him and Simmons. I think he could be the starter beyond. He could be the starter beyond the trade deadline potentially.
Right. He'd be like you're young and fun, good defensive, bats ninth, shortstop.
Like Simmons, like what we were saying. You might as well just have him have him be the backup and play one of the kids and see if they work.
You think you
IKF
make
can
any
play
friends
over.
on the middle school team?
Almost any of those words I said, the Yankees hate. Young, fun defense at shortstop.
They thought they had that.
I don't think I'd have friends on. I'd have one friend who like played Rocket League, and it'd be like, but I'd like tell him like, don't tell people.
I think you'd be friends with like the bench player.
No, well,
I don't think you'd
I'd have a
I
couple
don't
kids
think you'd
like idolize me.
yeah, but I don't think you would be friends with anyone. Like you'd be friends with the kid playing his Game Boy on the bench that doesn't play. Because
There's
you're a nice
chance.
guy.
There's a chance.
Yeah. I'm going to rule out Swanson. Braves aren't going to trade him. It's
Yeah.
one. I'm going to rule out Adames. The Milwaukee's trying.
They love him.
Miggy Rowe. They would have traded him last year. He
They
just
just
signed an
signed
extension.
him, yeah.
Phillies aren't trading Didi.
Do you think that's in the realm at all? He was bad last year. His
No,
contracts.
because I think Didi doesn't want to come back, and I don't think the Yankees want Didi back.
Okay.
I think they kind of ended that. It was a weird ending. They didn't. Didi felt slighted. I love watching Didi hit home runs in Yankee Stadium, though. For like a non-home run hitter, probably my favorite. Like you can just picture it in your head.
I mean, he hit. He
Yeah,
started hitting home runs.
But
It's all the same. It's all
They're
pull.
the
Yeah.
same home run. Yeah.
It's like never hit a homer the other way. I forget exactly what you said right when you said Didi about the Phillies, but like they would give him away for that price point and how little he gave them last year. Like they would love to move on, I think.
Yeah.
And sign Story or someone for themselves, but
So he's got 2 years, $28 million contract
I
left.
think one.
I think that's what he signed last
he's
year.
got 1
He's
year,
won for
14 mil?
So he's got 1 year, 14 mil. He was 1 year, 15.
So what if? So okay. So let's think about it then. Would you be upset if the Yankees did a 1 year Didi stopgap? He'd bring fun back. Maybe they're like, we need some fun back in the clubhouse.
Again, you need everything else to happen, and I do think it turns into a case of, I mean, it's the devil you do know versus the devil you don't. And this was my thing going back with Didi. The Yankees, with their right field, Didi Gregorius is more valuable to them than any other team.
Yeah, with the short porch.
Like Didi Gregorius' stats with the Yankees, I'll include his first year in 2015 when he was a scared pup.
The most scared.
Like he had a 759 OPS in 660 games. That's a lot of games, and I know that number for a shortstop doesn't jump off the map. For a shortstop, it should. I mean, if you take out his first baby year, like a 778 OPS, 22 homers a year from shortstop, bottom of the lineup, lefty, could pick it well enough. So I don't know, but again, you need so much more. That doesn't solve anything.
The benefit of if you're gonna get somebody who's bad, at least Didi's a fun watch.
The dudes know
Lefty
him. We
and-
like him. You have a chance for like a 30-homer year.
Yeah.
He hit
At that stadium, he's a fit. So at least if you're going with somebody who you expect not to be elite.
Okay, that's
Very
an option.
good.
This is the first thought that I didn't have at all in my head before we started the episode that now I'm like, huh.
So you think it's
The only problem is
Yeah.
that's a 1 year plan.
Yeah.
And Correa, Story aren't going to be available again.
right?
And what's the shortstop market coming up? Because we just saw 5 or 6 go. Trey Turner? Like, if it's Didi and then you want to go chase Trey Turner, if that's the plan, who other shortstops are coming up next year? Not guaranteed because they can sign extensions,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
or you really believe in Volpe, the kids.
the kids, yeah.
But if the kids don't pan out and you passed on this wave of shortstop free agents and for a stopgap player trade, even if it's 2 years, like who's coming up? Because you have to think about that at least.
Yeah, let me see. I'm clicking over right now. Tim Anderson, club option. Elvis Andrews, club option. Xander Bogaerts has an opt-out. Didi, Dansby Swanson, and Trey Turner. So, yeah,
It kind of would look really bad if you don't hit on any of these shortstops that are open right now.
Shortstops, youngish shortstops don't hit the open market very often. It's like
That's my thing.
phrase.
Yeah, so you better hope the other two work out.
I'll get some stats on that.
Well, that's an interesting one. If there was a match to be made there,
Yeah.
I would be like, you still need to make moves around it, but. All right, what about anyone else? Ahmed Rosario went from the Mets to Indians.
I think they moved him all over the field. So I don't know if that's on him or just if Cleveland tried to make him. Guardians. If they tried to make him a util guy or if the defensive stuff said be a util guy because they also traded for Ahmed Rosario in that trade. Yeah, man, I mean, it just kind of turns into a no. I mean, even this next level, like Elvis Andrews is hurt and he's not good anymore. Nick Ahmed is a guy you put, UConn guy, like that. Diamondbacks guy, love that. Two-time Gold Glove winner at shortstop, like that. Doesn't really hit. Career 671 OPS, 236, 291. So, no.
Okay. It's Correa or Story?
So what's your final pie?
Dude, it's Correa or Story.
Yeah.
What are the other options? I honestly think that they think it's Andrelton Simmons. Like, I think the Yankees don't understand why people are like, no. They think they're smarter than everyone else on that for some reason. And then what are the other options? Like Didi's, that's like we're like saying that, but that's not actually an option. I don't think.
I think things that actually would deserve a percentage point if we were doing our final pie chart. I think Didi would deserve a percentage point.
Yeah, he'd be on the pie chart.
There's logic.
Like if we were on DraftKings,
you think piecharts.com is a thing?
On here, Didi is one you could bet on.
If piecharts.com isn't a thing, I don't want to be around.
It's
anymore.
not, dude. It's not. It's not a thing.
What are we
We'll
doing?
try adding template.
Well,
I mean, not
I can,
necessarily
I can,
the website piecharts.com, but if
oh,
you
I
can't
can make
easily
a custom.
make a
Dude,
pie
I can
chart.
custom
Okay.
make a pie chart.
I mean,
Yeah.
I respect that meta-chart.com/pie because that provides you all of the charts.
Yes. No, I do.
So I just needed a chart. Okay.
I use this website.
I think a Didi Gregorius percentage would deserve to be on the map. I do think an Isaiah Kiner-Falefa percentage would deserve to be on the map. Those are the only trade percentages that I would put on the map. Andrelton Simmons would deserve a percentage.
How's this website work?
Do you think Jose Iglesias would deserve a percentage for everything we've said about Andrelton?
Yes. Enter your data. Okay, here we go.
Could
How
we
many
lump
How many slices of the pie you think we have? Wait, slice 1 is Correa. And
slice 2 is Story?
wait, what do you want to put Correa at? 30?
Kind of want to know all the slices.
Give me 25 for now.
And then we can adjust
And we can
accordingly?
adjust.
Okay. So let's say that there's going to be 6 slices for now.
Something like that. We can reel
Okay.
it in.
All right, so then Story is going to be slice number 2.
Also 25 for now,
Okay.
just so it's easy math.
Yeah, I think Story, I don't like him as red. I like him kind of as like a...
I was gonna say, why not make him purple like the Rockies and
Okay.
make Correa
Makes
the
sense.
Astros color?
That's,
Okay.
There's logic there. Good Pantones.
If we're doing the colors.
So then we'll do Simmons. I think that's the next one.
Should we do Simmons and Iglesias as a package?
No.
Because they're the same thing?
You don't think they're going to... Because they're not...
Because they're the same mindset. We don't
No.
have to.
I think it would
No,
be two.
because you want to
two
put all the
equally
options.
sized
You could do 2
slices.
equally sized
what
slices.
do you have Simmons as?
Dude, I have Simmons as like 10.
Put him as 10 for now.
I have Iglesias like... That's like
5.
5, yeah.
That's fair.
I don't want to give Iglesias that color. I want to give him
No.
some bad
A
color.
red.
He was on the
Yeah.
Red Sox last year.
Yeah.
Simmons.
I like him yellow. I think
Okay,
that
yeah,
works.
I think that's fine.
Like rookies, like prospects. Can't even be part of the
No,
pie.
they can't. 'cause
Can't
they
be part of the pie.
they can't
Opening day
start.
can't.
This is an opening day pie chart.
Fuck.
So that's where I do think we're going to have to boost these percentage up a little.
Yeah, well,
Kiner-Falefa.
we like him as just like a
Make
blue,
him blue.
obviously. Okay, and let's put him at like 15. I think Simmons gonna have to bump up to
But it
15
should
too. These guys might have to bump up. We might be at the end of
They
the pie
might have
chart.
to bump.
Didi,
Other.
Didi.
value 5,
5. Yeah, I like that.
and Didi should be
Pink.
Pink.
Pink. He's worldly.
yes. Okay,
Make stories a little more purple. I think him and IKF right now are a little too similar.
I thought he was more purple than that.
Yeah, a little further down. A little further down.
Getting there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So So what are we at now? We're at 30,
50.
80. We're at 90 right now. So
Okay.
let's bump these guys up to 30 each.
Yes. This pie chart, we're going to be releasing this to the public soon. Is that 100%?
I have no idea.
So 60, 90, 5. That's 100 right now.
That's 100? Is there like an upload option? Because it
How do
just
you-
seems the
how do you
only thing.
feel?
we're
Oh, you want to
missing-
see it?
Yes.
Hold on. Labels. We can
There's
go.
some labels there.
Name and percent.
This is huge. This is podcasts only. You guys must be in heaven right now.
Well, even the YouTube.
Yeah.
doesn't
Even
have
the
it.
And
YouTube.
you
We're
can-
gonna fix that soon. You're gonna be able to see
You
our
can
screen.
hit that download and Slack me the PNG. I can toss that bad boy up there.
Should tweet it.
You can tweet it too.
Yeah, but tweet it-
I do want to show it on.
We'll tweet it with a link to the.
Tweet it to the
Podcast.
episode because
Yeah,
then
makes sense.
Twitter always gets hot in the streets and they don't know like what we actually
Right.
said.
Well, I'll give it to the team and let them sort that
The
out.
all-time Yankee draft. Whew, people were hot.
We should send that to some of our guys inside the Yanks.
Yeah, some of the people we know that know things.
What should we tweak?
I'll do that right now.
Too low on IKF?
I would. You know what I'll say? I'll just say like, do we have the right amount of options? You know, that's
Yeah.
good. I'm slacking you the pie chart, and then here's a secret. I'm going to LinkedIn because that's the only way I communicate with
Oh, the guy.
the guy.
Wow.
I'm going to send him the graphic.
His name rhymes with Schmal Schmeinbrenner.
Oh, should I do that?
Yes. I think you absolutely should. I think you absolutely should. I mean, we're still live. Should we put a bow on this?
Yeah, because I'm.
Yeah, you're in. I see you got that.
is
You got that
really-
crazy look in
that's,
your eye.
That's really fun because I think I could do that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we learned there's 6 options. Is that what's in the pie chart?
BBD's sharing the pie chart, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. If you had,
Text that and say, are there other options?
how about this?
Do we have the right amount of options?
Maybe this is the fun final question. Obviously, Correa and Story, great baseball players. If you sign them, it's free agency. We're stoked. They're on the Yankees. Who is the third best option to be the Yankee shortstop next year? It's Didi or IKF?
Oh, between those two.
I don't know.
It's clear IKF for me.
Really?
As much as I
Because
love
you're a
Didi.
Didi lover.
I love Didi, but IKF's better at both sides right now.
Feels like we're going backwards.
Sometimes I feel myself turning into Mad Dog Live.
I'll share it with the people. Fayao in the chat wanted you to do another, like, throw it to commercial.
Yeah.
And I really want, I guess I wanted a professional jingle.
Yeah.
Like a WFAN.
Like an outro type sound.
And I want you to have a button that throws
When they
it
do that.
when Jake, and I want Jake to just do it
Yeah.
randomly. And then he goes, back after this. And,
Yeah.
and then after the break, and then I hit.
You know what, Didi? I thought all you kids loved Didi. We're back in 5.
And then I hit a button. I hit a button, it's like, doo-doo-doo, and then you make the YouTube like black. For like 5 seconds. And I want Jake mandatory 5 times a season.
Once a month.
Like 5 to 10 times a season. Like, yeah, where he does that, and it's a bit because a little behind the scenes talk in front of the scenes. I told Jake this. I was like, it's so funny when he does that. But I want to double it down by having an outro music.
We can, I'm sure we can just use WFAN's music.
I'm shocked.
They're
friends.
We'll be cool with that. We're friends.
I'm shocked you picked IKF over Didi. Shocked.
It's good. Like, it's not a big difference, but it's a decided step up. Didi was like, I watched a lot of the Phillies infield last year. Don't know if you guys are aware.
That's right.
Didi was bad at both sides.
You are the office's Phillies
He was bad at
infielder.
defense last year?
Worst shortstop in baseball last year. Both sides.
Mm.
But vibes are great. I love
Vibes
them.
are great. We're a vibes team. Who's your number 3 if you can't get Correa or Story?
Tom Ace in the chat said Mink has the Flash, which is hilarious. Just hilarious sports radio. The Flash News. Mink's gotcha.
Didi is left-handed.
My number 3 doesn't exist.
That's the question.
It's all the same.
I think I'm going to be pretty
That's the
firm
question.
there.
I think that's the question, though.
No, I don't have it.
You don't have a third.
No, I don't have a third.
The third best shortstop option is pulling off both trades and beefing the rotation and doing everything else. Every other position's A-plus move.
Any other position, just go with the rookie.
I know we made a pie chart that has 100% on it, and it can't be argued with. Is it 100% that one of these 6
No.
men will be the Yankees starting
No.
shortstop?
No. That's
the tricky part. I don't know. I'm baffled. Go get Story or Correa so we don't have to talk about this anymore.
Go get him.
Go get him. Charts on the screen. for those
I
on
will.
YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I'm
send this
gonna
around.
send the chart around.
We'll get you
and
an
I'm gonna
update
get some updates
from anyone
on,
who we think
you
is a
know,
source.
How accurate is our chart?
BBD, could you text me the chart? Because I've got one guy I can
Here,
I can
I'll
pull it
airdrop it to you right now.
airdrop it to me. Sometimes my
Airdrop it to
airdrop
Jake right
doesn't
now.
work.
Yeah, because your airdrop comes up as Jess Storielli. Here it is, Jess iPhone.
Except
We all have the pie chart on our phone.
We all have
BBD,
the
do
pie
you
chart.
want it? I'll send it to Kyle too. That's sick. Fuck. Send it to Zach too. Send it to David too.
Sam.
Everyone in the office.
everyone in the
Everyone
office
else just came up with my airdrop, got the pie chart. That's how important this is.
Supermassive just kind of dropped a bomb that I'm not ready to talk about because I haven't processed it all and I don't think is real, but it feels like it could also be real in another world.
We're not talking about it.
We're not talking about it. But Supermassive, I see you, I respect you, and I love you, and I hope you're right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, it's not, but it is, but it's not.
I
Can't,
mean,
can't
either
do that.
way,
Can't
you
get
can-
that funky.
You can go make that
It's
move
not an
and
area where you
figure
can
it
get that
out.
creative.
Get that funky.
All right. Where's the outro music?
We love you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you.
Are we doing voicemails?
Are we?
Yeah,
Next
let's go.
episode?
Yeah. Do you want to give people the parameters now or refine them and tweet it? And
Refine them and
minutes.
we'll tweet it. Be on the lookout
tweet
for a
it
tweet,
out.
and we'll post it
Probably
in
be
the,
a tweet within
the
an
YouTube
hour.
community and everything. We'll let everyone know what. But we're gonna do some voicemails. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let us know if you have changed your mind at all. I don't think I have. It's Story or Correa
Or your third option?
or well, it's disappointment is a third.
Hmm.
Go Yanks. Tell them Grams. Ooh, turn the volume up, dummy.
Go Yankees.